They say there's no true luxury without rear-wheel drive. Audi once stood with Mercedes and BMW, but now among its peers, only its headlights are still ahead. Today, I'll explain how to choose from the entire Audi sedan lineup, so you buy the right car without overpaying or paying a brand premium. Audi sedans range from the A1 to the A8. The higher the number, the higher the class and price. First, the Audi A1 is positioned as an imported subcompact car. There's always that annoying person around you who tries to rain on your parade when you're about to buy a car. For example, if you buy an Audi A1, they'll remind you that the A1 shares the same platform as the Polo, hinting at poor taste in cars. But people already know this when they buy a car. And besides, the A1 and Polo are quite different. Though the Polo GTI and Audi A1 share a platform, their driving experiences differ. The Polo GTI has a stiffer chassis and sportier feel, suiting those who enjoy handling and performance. The Audi A1, however, prioritizes comfort and brand quality, ideal for users seeking a refined lifestyle. In power, after upgrade, the Polo GTI's 1.4T engine reaches 150 horsepower, while the A1 remains at just over 120, a clear difference. But these cars were originally developed for female users, so as long as the power is sufficient, that's enough. And you need to understand one thing: if your wife has decided to buy an Audi, no matter which Volkswagen you bring home, chances are you won't be able to hide it from her. The second one is the Audi A2. It was the world's first car with a full aluminum body, weighing just over 800 kilograms, and it was also the first 5-door car in Europe to keep fuel consumption under 3 liters. Back then, it was launched to compete with models like the BMW Mini in Europe. Due to its high production costs, its price at the time reached over 400,000 yuan, which was more than double that of the Mercedes-Benz A-Class of the same segment. Even so, Audi claimed that they lost more than 7,000 euros on every A2 sold, so production stopped after just 1 year in 2005. This also makes the A2 the rarest Audi model, and its failure is something even the Audi family is reluctant to mention. The third one is the Audi A3, priced between 120,000 and 190,000 yuan. In my opinion, this is currently the Audi A-series model with the sportiest interior, and it's also one of the most cost-effective cars in its class. However, since the new model has just been released and the old model is still on sale, many people are struggling to decide between the new and old versions, as well as whether to choose the hatchback or the sedan. The new A3 is a mid-cycle refresh of the 4th generation. The sedan's rear seat cushion has been lengthened, increasing rear space. The entire lineup's engine is upgraded from 1.4T to 1.5T. Although the new model's rear seat cushion is 25mm longer, the actual experience doesn't feel much different. However, the sedan's wheelbase increased by 50mm, making the rear space more spacious than the old model. There's no substantial difference in powertrain and handling between new and old models. Compared to the old 1.4T version, the steering is lighter, making it more suitable for female drivers. In summary, if you want to buy the sedan and care about rear seat space, then go for the new model. Otherwise, the old model is still a better deal since it's 20,000 cheaper. Audi A4L, priced from 190,000 to 240,000 yuan. This is Audi's best-selling sedan. First of all, at this vehicle class, debating between front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive doesn't really matter much, because in this price range, the choice of drive type is far less important than how the manufacturer tunes the car. In actual driving experience, the front-wheel drive A4 is not inferior to any rear-wheel drive car in the same class. Once you sit inside, your first impression is that the interior design is very pragmatic, without too much sense of luxury or ambiance. The overall style leans toward practicality. The infotainment system is simple in terms of features, but it does occasionally lag. The rear seat space is good, the seat cushion tilts upward and the backrest feels upright, making it uncomfortable. The biggest highlight of this car lies in its driving experience. The chassis quality far surpasses that of the BMW 3 Series, especially in terms of lateral support and road feel clarity when cornering, both of which are outstanding. The steering precision and responsiveness are also superior to the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes-Benz C-Class, giving you a sense of effortless control of the driving experience. The only flaw in driving is that initial power feels sluggish, and brake response at the start is also somewhat soft. Although it's about to be replaced, if your budget is around 200,000 yuan, you can buy it now. Sharing the same platform as the A4, there's also the A5, priced between 330,000 and 450,000 yuan. As Audi's most attractive model, the A5 Sportback's fastback design is indeed stylish, available in both 2-door and 4-door versions. The 2-door is more eye-catching, but for daily practicality, the 4-door is clearly better. If you're after a pure 2-door coupe, the BMW 4 Series might be a better fit. The 4DI version has a 2.0T engine, delivering 204 horsepower paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, accelerating from 0 to 100 km/h in 7.5 seconds. Compared to other coupe models in the same class, its power is indeed a bit underwhelming. The 45 version has 265 horsepower. At over 400,000 yuan, it's better to add 20,000 for the S4. Let's rule this one out. Next, the Audi A6, priced between 280,000 and 460,000 yuan. People say the Audi A6 is an official car, but in reality you rarely see it in government agencies. Since 1989, government agencies and public institutions were prohibited from purchasing imported sedans as official vehicles. The domestically produced Audi A6 became the main choice. In 1997, the 5th-gen Audi A6 arrived. Chinese designers proposed extending the wheelbase, leading to the birth of the Audi A6L. However, with new policies in 2017, official vehicles couldn't exceed 180,000 yuan or have an engine displacement over 1.8 liters, which is why the Audi A6 withdrew from the public vehicle market. Although the current model is cheaper and front-wheel drive, it actually drives better than the 5 Series and E-Class. The steering is sharp, precise, and genuinely impressive. The car follows your inputs very well. When cornering, as soon as the front end turns in, the rear follows immediately, crisp and decisive. Throttle response is quite quick, and the chassis quality definitely deserves praise. Shock absorption is clean and crisp, handling bumps with great finesse. It doesn't feel jarring, yet still preserves a good sense of the road. However, if you often drive on highways, it's best not to buy the 40 version. The acceleration at higher speeds is genuinely weak. Next up, a 7, priced 3,000 to 670,000 yuan. Speaking of the Audi A7, many think it's beautiful but useless. Is that really the case? First, let's be clear. The imported A7 and the domestically produced A7L are completely different cars. The A7L focuses on value. It's cheaper than the imported A7 and comes with an L, making it suitable for those who want prestige and practicality. The imported A7 conversely isn't for those concerned with value. It's about sentiment, something priceless. A7 drivers generally fall into two groups: wealthy families whose parents bought it for them in their 20s, and middle-aged people in their 40s or 50s who loved it young but couldn't afford it, now fulfilling their dreams. Now let's discuss the price. Almost no one buys the entry-level 2.0 T A7. The real volume comes from the 45 version, with a bare car price around 440,000 to 450,000 yuan. But for the 3.0 T, that's a different car. Performance and experience are completely different, and of course the price shoots up to nearly 700,000 yuan. Last, Audi A8, priced 690,000 to 2,070,000 yuan. Audi A8 low-T Mercedes S-Class, composed BMW 7 Series. After experiencing the 55 version of the A8, my verdict is that it's truly impressive. Previously, Audi gave me the impression that the driving experience was average, but the A8 is completely different. One test drive left a deep impression. What amazed me was its suspension system. That floating sensation is inferior to the S-Class 300,000 yuan. The A8 sound insulation excels at high speeds, the cabin quiet. Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive reliability. In winters of Northeast China, driving with peace of mind. This 6-cylinder D-segment car's highway fuel consumption is under 8 liters. The drawback of this car is it resembles the A6. If you care more about appearances, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class might be more suitable for you. If brand recognition isn't important to you and you value the driving and riding experience more, the A8 is definitely a great choice. Which Audi is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. See you next time.